If fantasy and romance are what you seek, featuring heroines who aren't quite so meek, with book talk and Instagram full of deceit, simply listen to our podcast, Our Picks of the Week. I have a confession, Jordan.
I at this point in our relationship, Katie, I can brace for pretty much anything.
So, on a whim, I listened to Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros.
No, you caved, Katie.
I apparently had not been traumatized, put through the ringer enough, listening and reading the first book, Fourth Wing, that so I will say, after reading Dragonflight, I was like, I have, a dragon hankering that needs to be fixed. And like Rebecca Yarros, like the Empyrean series. Oh
A
no.
dragon hankering.
That's the only way I know how to describe it, like, but the Empyrean series, it's, like, the perfect mix between, like, silly college era hockey romance and then, like, dragons. Like, there is not much serious going on in this series, like, and it's, I will say, kind of frustrating because I feel like the second one, you get less of the, like, silly college romance, whatever, and you get more of the, like, I have to make a plot to turn this into, like, a multi-series book or, like, a multi-book series. So that was kind of unfortunate, but it's very similar to Fourth Wing, like, silly
Do we have
college.
something more intriguing in the romance department of this book? Because I'm kinda over Xaden.
That's fair. No.
What?
Not at all. Yeah, so, we start off Xaden graduated the previous year, so he is now, like, a 2nd lieutenant, and he has been stationed at the very far reaches of, the country. I think he's even in, like, a dangerous area because 'cause they're trying to separate him and Violet, and so every, like, 4 or 5 days or maybe once a week, they're allowed to meet each other because their dragons can't be, like, separated for that long, which, of course, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the reason they're gonna completely disrupt a military assignment.
Yeah, exactly. And so we basically get more, like, college era classes, etcetera. They're the cool kids on the block now because 'cause they're seniors. We do get, I forgot his name, but the friend that died at the end of the first book, his younger sister is now at the college, and she absolutely hates Violet because she thinks that Violet was responsible for her brother's death, and Violet has kind of, like, taken it under her, like, responsibility to make sure that Sloane, the younger sister, like, gets through her first year. And that includes, like, helping her on the parapet part, and Sloane is like, "Go fuck yourself." And she's like, "I deserve that, but I'm gonna, like, watch out for you anyways." And, of course, somehow Sloane sucks at, like, the fighting matches, and so, Violet has to, like, help her, and I think she, like, poisons one of her, like,
Of
opponents.
course.
Yeah, so we get more college shenanigans, except underneath all of this, at the end of the first book, we realized that Violet's brother, Brennan, wasn't actually dead, and that
I forgot
he
about that.
has, like, joined the revolution, basically. Navarre is the country that was, like, totally burned to the ground during the first, like, revolution with Xaden's dad. He was sentenced, everybody got their, like, tattoos or whatever. This revolution has started again, basically, but they have Brennan now. Tyrrendor is like, the city or country. It wasn't actually destroyed, and so they have also come to the revelation that they're trying to, like, create more wards, which are, like, the magical protection that, covers the whole country, and that was, like, their big weapon against the, like, Venin, which are the, like,
Oh,
evil
like the evil
sorcerers.
wizards? Yeah.
Yeah, that, like, suck energy out, and so they're trying to make another ward, basically, and so that's Violet's, like, research project and what she can, help for the revolution because she, wants to be a part of this and, like, help out, and she's like, "Xaden, you have to be truthful with me, and you have to tell me all these, like, state secrets," and he's like,
Oh.
"Well, you don't know how to, like, protect your thoughts. Your ex-best friend is like a mind reader. We learned that when, he did it the first time and fucked everything up. So I don't think it's unreasonable for me to maybe, like, not tell you everything." And the whole time Violet is like, "Oh my god, I can't trust you."
She's so annoying.
Yep. Yeah, so that continues literally the entire book. But yeah, so they, start on this adventure. She's being targeted by, like, the new school, like, commandant or something who's, like, a psychopath for no reason. She gets, like, tortured in one of the scenes, and it's yeah. It's really long. It took me, like, a week and a half to read this like, listen to this book.
Oh my
It's, like,
god.
36 hours. It was and I'm listening at, like, an increased speed.
Mhm.
So it's one of those if you just, like, want something to listen to for the next, like, month, like, you can finish out the series. Would I recommend it? No. Was it fun and silly? Yes. Was I annoyed the whole time? Also, yes. Will I read the 3rd one? We'll see, maybe. I'm a glutton for punishment.
I I need you to read the 3rd one because I wanna see what the hype is about. Like, I wanna
I know.
see this supposed cliffhanger that happened. But, one of my biggest beefs with The Fourth Wing and the trilogy in general is the pacing of the romance seems so forced and rushed. Like,
Yep.
you could keep readers along if you just spaced it out over the course of the trilogy rather than wrapping it all up with dragon sacks in book 1.
Mhm. Yeah, 'cause I that's how I feel what the Emperor's Edge series did well is that, like, there's enough plot to sustain, multiple books, and then the romance is just kind of, like, building and building. And also the series that you did last week, that was, like, multiple books, wasn't it?
Yeah, same thing. The romance doesn't really kick off until, like, the last chapter of book 3 and then throughout book 4.
Mhm. So I feel like this series kind of had the same, like, Sarah Maas, protocol condition where it's like, I have to introduce, big plot things at the very end so that I can, like, squeeze out another book. But it's like your romance already, concluded at, like, the 70% mark, so, like, what's really gonna happen? And so they obviously, like, the whole book have, like, relationship problems, but then they, like, love each other again, and they, like, have sex a couple times randomly, like, at,
Ugh.
militarily inappropriate times, like,
Oh.
the whole thing was just kind of, like, annoying or whatever, but you get the end, there's, like, a reveal that's, like, kind of interesting, but also didn't really make sense. I will say, though, there is a point at, like, the 80% mark where someone dies, and I actually had a slightly emotional response to it.
You can't just not say who dies.
No, 'cause it's, like, a pretty big spoiler. Someone dies, and it's not even that their character was, like, super important, like, they're important, but it's just the, like, everybody being there and the, like, dialogue was really strong, like, I was surprised, like, I was just minding my own business, like, doing the dishes, and I was like, "Hold up, what?" I just have, like, the sink running as I'm, like, staring off into the distance, getting, like, teary-eyed.
Is it Dane?
No,
Is it the friend from the first book?
no. I know. I don't wanna ruin it. You have to suffer like I
I
did.
will I will Google it. I am not reading this
That's
book.
fair. That's fair. Yeah, but I will say, shout out to Rebecca Yarros for that, like, one tidbit of good dialogue. Everything else was, a little
Damned
questionable.
by faint praise from Katie. There was that one good scene that almost got me. Good job, author.
I I don't know if it's worth it to suffer through the whole thing to get this one scene, but I will say it was very, like, heart-wrenching. It was good. It was like a redemption moment. I've also heard, hinkerings that maybe Dane has this kind of, like, makes up for his wrongs and, like, does the right thing, and we get a kinda get, like, a glimmer of that in this one, so it'll be interesting to see if Rebecca Yarros has, like, a whole switcheroo in book 3 or 4 between who Violet's love interest is.
Oh god. I could stick around for that.
Exactly. I feel like that is the only, like, potential avenue she has to really kind of, like, keep this train going.
'Cause there's gonna be a 4th book, right?
Mhm. I think it's a 5 or 6 book series. I think it might be 5. But they're just so fucking long.
That there's too much filler. Like, you
Yep.
don't need that much to do so little.
Yep, yeah, this book, I will say, had a ton of filler. So it's one of those, like, if you have long drives, you could put it on and, like, kinda, like, zone out.
Ugh.
If you're, like, doing things, you can have it playing in the background. There's some plot that happens, but, like, not really important.
Ugh.
Yeah, but yeah, it was a book. I finished it. We'll probably read book 3 at some point in the future when I'm feeling, sad, maybe.
You're keeping us honest for our romantasy genre, so thank you for
Mhm.
making
Yeah.
that.
See, That's what I mean. I'm on my hockey romance, character arc, so I need something, tangential to hockey romance, and that is the Empyrean series. So
It's I love that. It's close enough to hockey romance, which I don't know if that says something bad about hockey romance or good about Rebecca Yarros.
I don't know either. I think it's more that these hockey romances have 0 plot. Like, there is absolutely nothing that happens in it, and that's how I feel about this 700 behemoth, Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros.
That's
Yeah.
okay. There's 2 more books apparently, 3 more books.
Yep. Yep. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm a little bit embarrassed about it, but you know what? I'll be real with our readers. I feel like we have gotten to that point in our, emotional relationship that I can be honest about the absolute trash that I'm reading.
I mean, what is I mean, looking at how honest some of our reviews have been, especially on the Tuesday episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. We're truthful people. It's fine.
Well, from Katie's shelf to yours.
We'll see you on the next page. Hi, readers. Like what you've been hearing? Check out the Spice Archive at notanotherheroine.com to see all of our reviews and ratings. And if you'd like to support our growing library, find us on Patreon and get access to exclusive bonus content.
If you'd like to just listen, we post new episodes every Monday and Wednesday on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon. Thanks for listening.